after that day, when they stepped out of that door and my brother and father jumped over the neighbor's wall, we had no idea if my dad was alive, if my brother was alive, where they were, what they were doing, if they left Afghanistan, if they were still in Afghanistan. We had no communication with them for 5 years. I was woken by my dad's kiss. And I looked at my mom and she was bawling her eyes out. So you can understand my confusion seeing all this in the middle of the night with no warning. Then we stepped outside into the front yard, and before I had any time to ask any questions, I heard a big banging noise in our front gate. And then I turned to the other side and I saw my brother and father jump over the neighbor's wall into their yard. And then from the front gate, these men with huge rifles walked in and looked at my mom, asked her, where's your husband and your son? My mom said, I have no idea. I don't know where they are. I haven't seen them. So this time, the one of the guys took his rifle and pointed it at my mom's stomach, who was pregnant with my little sister at the time, and he asked her again, "Where is your son and your husband?" And my mom stood her ground. She said, "I don't know where they are. I haven't seen them. You can search the house if you want." So that night it was just like really dark. I remember my little sister was like wrapped up and like really warm because it was cold. And we just got into a bus, and the rest of it I don't remember that much, but I know like we secretly ran away, got into a bus, and like got somehow smuggled into Pakistan. We actually finally got approved in April of 2002 to come to the US, where we moved to Denver, Colorado for a couple of weeks, and then we went to Boston, Mass for a couple of months, and from there we finally came to Worcester, Massachusetts, where we first lived in a shelter home with other families. I got bullied a lot during my first few years. I remember an encounter I had with this kid, and we were arguing about something, and he was like, his argument wasn't very valid, so he was like losing, and I think he like didn't know what to say, so he turned to me and he was just like, why don't you just go back to your country? And I remember like that was it. I started bawling my eyes out, like, and my response to him was, I wish I could, but I can't. So I turned to her and I was like, "Oh, so why don't you want to write it down?" Um, and she told me that the reason she doesn't want people to know her last name is Koistani is because they'll know her ethnic background. They'll know that she's from Afghanistan, and then the kids will make fun of her. The kids will bully her, and that hurt me. That hurt me a lot because I have so much pride in my country, both Afghanistan and the US. It hurt me that she doesn't have the same level of love for her country. Not love, but she can't openly be prideful from where she's from because she fears that they're going to judge her in a negative way and that they're going to harm her in some way. And so it hurts to know that a little girl who's about 10 years old has a fear like this. We need to be more careful about what we do, what we say when kids are just watching, and they are the future of this world as a whole. And so like I don't know, that just made me realize how much I hated being in the US because I felt like it was like a country that preached like equality or like acceptance but practice intolerance, and like I just didn't, like, I don't know, I just didn't feel like it was a land of happiness and opportunity that I thought it was gonna be. It's different here. Here you have more opportunities available to you. There's more room to network. There's more room to progress. You don't have that fear of being attacked or something horrific happen to you like you do while you're in Afghanistan. And I think that's definitely played a big part in my life because it has helped me accomplish a lot of different goals. And then also the simple fact that we found my brother and my father. The Red Cross actually in 2003 helped locate them after reading our story in the newspaper. So that wouldn't have happened in Afghanistan. Something I think that stood with me is how happy, and this is genuine happiness, that the people in Afghanistan have. They're in the middle of a war right now. They live in fear sometimes, but that doesn't stop them from genuinely living their life and being happy. Although the impact of the Taliban has decreased, and although the people of Afghanistan are happy, Afghanistan is still one of the most dangerous countries in the world to live in. Their happiness arises more so from the fact that they have made this fear part of their normal day. And so there are constantly attacks occurring in Afghanistan. There's bombings every single week. There's deaths left and right, and so it has just become part of their normal life. And not to say that they accept it, they're okay with it, it's more so that they try to push it aside in order to live their normal daily lives. The Taliban have a political agenda. The Taliban have a strict mindset that they want everyone to believe, but they have not been successful in getting their ideas drilled into the minds of their citizens. The Afghan citizens do not hate Westerners. That's very, very important to note, because I know that's a huge misconception. They have not pulled these ideas from the Taliban and put it into their own minds. The Afghans are modern and open-minded in their mindset, and they just want to live without fear. They want to live peacefully like any of us would. We live in a society where I guess you could refer it to as a society of convenience, where it's just so much easier to believe everything you hear. I want people to take the extra step and try to genuinely understand things. Just because someone's different than you doesn't make them any less than you.